Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey and welcome back to another GameMaker tutorial. So today we're back doing the No Man's Sky type project we've got going in 2D, of course. And if you remember in the last video, we were having a bit of problems with the trees. I have managed to go back and fix it. Somehow the code I wrote last video was completely awfully written, so I've just gone back and completely rewrote most of that, and now it works pretty much 90% of the time. There's a little bit in there that's obviously not quite working, but most of the times you'll see here we've got 5 trees spawning in all the time. Sometimes they do spawn in next to each other, which is a little bit odd, and also they have no leaves, so we will be working on that in some future episodes. But for the time being, I would like to actually go and do something a little bit different, have a little bit of a break, but first I'll just show you what that code is that I've changed. So nothing. Here I've just put this, and this, it can be whatever number here, but make sure this is a minus number or higher than your width, but it has to be that, otherwise it will cause an error. In here I've just changed that to 1 instead of 0. For some reason 0 didn't want to work, so we're now doing it on 1. Var n, that's all the same. This is all the same. This is slightly different. I'd put some typos or something here. I'd put that as XX or something. They both have to be I, that one and that one. But nothing else really has changed in that little bit there, and this is all the same as well. So most of it's the same, just a few tweaks here and there. I added this bit in because here it was trying to access an array that didn't exist, and this just makes the array exist basically, because they're not like DS grids. Because otherwise you're setting it here. That's the first time you're actually setting something. If you set this to anything within the actual room, this could come back as being true, and it would leave this, which isn't exactly a massive issue, but we just want to make it as random as possible. So that's all working now. That's all kind of working, those trees. But what else can we do? What should we do now? Well, at the minute the whole world's just dirt. You know, who wants a dirty world? No one wants a dirty world. We need some sort of stone in there. So I haven't actually got a oh no, wait, we have got stone. So I'm just going to go ahead and start coding. So back into the create event in the world gen, of course. Now we're going to want to place some stone in. So how are we going to do this? Well, first off, I'm just going to completely go ahead and delete all of this commented out code just to make it a little bit cleaner. So just get rid of that and that. Okay, that'll do for the time being. So where do we want to put it? Well, when we've made the crust, we don't really want to do it then, do we? That wouldn't be very good. But what we do want to do is this bit. So this is the bit where it fills the whole of the bit underneath full of dirt. Now we don't really want to do that. So just above this, we're going to write another little bit of code. And then we're going to write a little bit underneath as well. So this is going to be, we don't want that. Oh well. What should we call it? Let's say randomize. Oh dear. Still getting used to this keyboard, sorry guys. Randomize the stone odds, that'll do. So we're going to do for var I equals 0. I is less than width I plus plus. So this is going to go through all of the width in the room. Now we're going to want to say, so we're going to use another array. I'm going to say stone I equals I random, and we're going to use range, and this is going to be the odds, how big is the layer of dirt at the top going to be in comparison to underneath the stone. So we'll say anywhere from 3 all the way to 7 will do. Right, now underneath this, I'm going to write another bit of code, which is place the stone. So here we've filled in all of it with dirt. But now what we want to do is go down and count down however many blocks we have set here and actually change those blocks to stone. So once again we're going to use a little for loop. So for var yy equals 1, yy is less than height yy plus plus. This is a really simple for loop. You've probably come across it before. I mean, definitely we have, because I've covered it in several of my videos. So then we're going to use width, actually, and this series, xx plus plus. Right, now that's going to scroll through every single block inside of our room. Now what we want to say is if that block that we're currently on, so it's going to be xx yy equals bk block dirt. Oh, we didn't put an equals there. That's interesting. Equals that. And we need to do another if. So this is if planet xx yy minus 1 equals bk air. So this is basically just looping through every single block and saying if the block we're on is dirt and the block directly above us is air, so effectively this is the crust layer, then we want to count down however many we are doing. So then we want to say, I guess we want to go another for loop. How should we do this then? Yeah, let's do another for loop. So for var ii equals 0, ii is less than, it needs to go all the way down to the bottom, so we're just going to say height, because it'll stop before then, but we want to just make it loop enough times definitely so that it'll go through. So we're saying if well, we need to actually move down a certain amount, so we don't want an if, do we? Yeah, we do actually. If planet xx, then we want yy plus stone, and here's the tricky bit because we want to use this, so that would be xx again, which is complicated. Right, and that's going to be equals now this is where it backfires because I haven't actually coded any bedrock in. So how should we do this? Well, as a matter of fact, we can just go out and into our initial setting of the grids. Actually, I think that was in this one. So what did we clear it to? Did we clear it? Yeah, we cleared it all to air. So if we say that equals bk air, this should work. If not, we might have to code in some bedrock, which I was planning on doing anyway. So what this is saying is if this is just looping infinitely basically, if planet, so if our grid, and then we're adding on our randomized stone bit here. So this will basically take our dirt block, move down however many we need to, and we actually want to add one onto that as well. So if the one underneath that is equal to air, so effectively we're at the bottom, but we don't want that, we want not air, then we want to continue on. Actually, we want to say is air, and if it is air, we want to break. No, we don't need that plus one. Never mind. Rig. But otherwise, if it isn't the last one, if we are still going through our things, we want to set it to be our stone. So BK block stone. Right, what have we missed? We missed a little thing there. So that's a really big bit of code. So let me just run through this little bit here. So this is saying if the block we're currently on is equal to our air block, and this bit is moving down however many blocks we need to move down to reach our stone level, then we want to break the for loop. Otherwise, if we aren't on a thing, if we're still on our dirt, we want to change that one to be a stone. Now, fingers crossed this should work, but if it doesn't work, if it says it brings up an error saying grid is out of bounds or something, then we're going to have to go along and add in a bedrock layer to indicate the very bottom, which you can't possibly mine through. Similar to in Minecraft. And you know, Terraria and all sorts of other games have also got that sort of bottom layer to make sure you don't go flying through the map. So it has worked, but we're missing a very key floor. So we've kind of got it, as you can see here, but there's nothing underneath that, and also under each tree it doesn't work because obviously there's a tree above it. So on the plus side it has worked to an extent. On the downside we're going to have to do a bit more onto that. So in the next video, let's just edit that quickly because that will be causing memory leaks. Be in the game end. And I don't actually know what's making our planets. Oh well, we'll just leave that bit for the time being. But anyway guys, that's been it for this video. I think we made some decent progress. I'm just going to say this tutorial series is slowly taking longer and longer to do each bit. So if I don't get a certain amount of support, and you know, if you guys don't want me to continue this after Christmas, I won't. I'll stop and do something better if it's more beneficial. Do some maybe short tutorials on little things. I think that would probably be better for people's learning. But if you are following this series and you would like me to keep going, drop a comment, drop a like. Either way, would appreciate that you want more. And yeah, that would be pretty awesome. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. If you liked, well, I already said drop a like and a comment, whatever you want to do. Or you can just subscribe, or just do whatever you guys really want to do. I don't really care. But I will see you in the next one.